Hey guys, and welcome back to Third Act. So, just like last week, we are going to be putting out 2 videos this week, reviewing 8 shows in 1 week, which is super awesome. In this video, we're going to be talking about 4 great shows that we saw this season. So, we're going to start with The Amish Project from McCallum Memorial. Then we're going to move straight into Aladdin from Rio Grande City High School. Then we'll move on to Donna North's Once on This Island. And last but not least, we'll be reviewing Nikki Rowe High School's Little Shop of Horrors.
Alright, well, let's go ahead and start with this week's video. So, I didn't get to see the Amish Project from McCallum Memorial. I'm so sorry. But my good friend Javier over here, he saw all of them. So everybody praise him. Praise him on social media. At him, telling him he's the bestest.
Don't do that.
Anyway, let's go ahead and start talking about the Amish Project from McCallum Memorial. So, what did you think? First impressions? Let me know everything.
So I had never seen the show. I had never heard of it, didn't know what it was about. Obviously, the title gives it away, right? But I don't know. I was a little skeptical just because I prefer musicals over plays.
Yeah, it's not your strong
Yeah,
suit.
it's very obvious if you play these videos back. But I was pleasantly surprised, to be honest. The set wasn't too intricate, but it worked for what they were doing. And I think it was really cool how they separated the parts of the stage. Because there wasn't necessarily set changes, but it was just really cool how they took you from one portion of the stage to another portion of the stage, and it was like completely different sets, settings.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoyed it because it kept me it kept my attention the whole time, which is really hard to do with a play, guys. I'm gonna be really transparent with you. It's really hard to keep my attention, but it really did. It was intriguing. If I'm not mistaken, it's based on the true events that happened several years back, where for those of you who didn't get to see the show, a man opened fire in one of the Amish schoolhouses in Ohio or Utah or something like that. One of those states.
Northern states. Go Ohio.
It gives you the perspective from the Amish, and it also gives you the perspective from his widow, because he kills himself after he opens fire. And so it kind of gives you her perspective, and it gives you what she goes through afterwards. The wife was played by Jolisa Perez. I absolutely love her in every aspect. She's a great actress.
We'll talk about her next week in the review.
she really killed it for me. It was really cool to see, just to give you an insight, how she battled internally with how she felt or feels about her late husband, but how she also feels and empathizes with the families of, the people that lost children.
Wow.
So it's a very interesting story. It's very interesting, and like I said, it kept my attention the whole way through. The cast wasn't super big, but everybody had their own little moment, and I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, overall, I really enjoyed how they told the story through the set and through the lights. Because there was moments where you kind of hear their internal thoughts in the center of the stage, and everything around them goes black. So it's literally just one spotlight.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was one spotlight on her, and then she would talk to you if she was telling you I loved him, I love him, and I still do. She's but does that make me a bad person, type thing, So that was really cool. I enjoyed the show overall, and it was probably one of my favorites this season. Just because it was new, it was different. I had never seen it. But yeah, I really enjoyed the show overall.
That's awesome.
We are going to talk about Aladdin from Rio Grande City High School. So I'm going to go straight to you. Wait, okay. Sidebar.
Sidebar?
Sidebar? Y'all know what I mean. Shout out to Hector for road tripping with us to go see the show.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
We had never been to this school to see a show? Question mark.
Where'd you see?
And it was
a trip.
A long drive.
It was a trip.
But honestly, we just love talking to Hector. So
Yeah,
it
felt like
feel
5 minutes.
Yeah, it didn't feel that long. We had dinner before the show, and then we went to go see the show. So shout out to you, Hector, if you're watching this. I know you are.
We love you.
So what did you think of the show? First impressions, like we walked in.
Well, first impression, they really set the mood because I was jamming out to all these Disney songs. And as you can tell, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. But I don't know. It was just like, it was a good environment. It was a good environment. I noticed there was a lot of people in the audience. They had a good crowd. And let me tell you, they didn't do the show in a regular auditorium. They did it in a cafetorium. But having that support of the parents and the school and the administration and like having a lot of people there, good for them. That just speaks volumes about the kind of school that they have.
Yeah, honestly, like it's not easy to fill up a cafeteria, in my opinion, because I mean, it is a big area of the school for most schools, just because it has to house like literally everyone.
Yeah.
So when you're able to put that many people in there for a show, like I think it's definitely a testament to the people around you, like the support you have from the community. I think for me, my first impression started with the set.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the downsides to doing your show in a cafetorium, which we've talked about before, is space. So I feel like that was already a disadvantage on their, not that they were at fault for that, but like they were already at a disadvantage for that. I do think that they did the best with what they had.
Yeah.
If I had to make any like one little comment about the set, there was a portion of the stage that people used to go behind, like if you went off this side of the stage, you went behind
that. Yeah.
and you could see them.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that I was like, okay, it kind of took me away from the illusion a little bit.
Yeah. Especially because they would just like either walk through or they would
run.
crawl.
Yeah. So it was like, that was the only thing that I would have to say about the set. That I wish they had done something to cover.
Yeah. But they tried to do the different I guess levels or different like platform areas so that they have space to play around with, which was really cool. And not just that, but they came a lot to the audience, so it was very immersive in that sense of.
Yeah, it was very immersive. I think if we have to go into that as well, I would say with the lights. So there were portions of the time where they came out to the audience, but all the lights were on this stage.
Yeah.
Rightfully so, right? But if them coming out into the audience is going to be part of it, it would have been cool to like see them, because I feel like it was really hard to see them when they were in the audience. But again, like in a cafetorium, in a cafetorium you don't have like lights, and they had like rigged lights on a pole, I think, on both sides. So they were very limited when it came to lighting. So I mean, honestly, for what they were able to do with it, in my opinion, it was good enough.
Yeah, like, and they had a lot of projections in the back, correct?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, I remember that.
They had projections throughout the show. And I think they did a really good job at like setting the mood for where we were, as the set changed too.
Yeah.
Because the physical set itself didn't really move.
Yeah.
But the projections kind of helped you with that flow a little bit.
One thing that I do want to talk about Aladdin. To me, the vocals were not hitting the marks that they should have. I'm not saying that it was absolutely horrible, but there was just lacking in supportive breath, in diction. I was losing a lot of their words, and I just wish they would have worked a little bit longer on the music. I feel like if that would have been a different scenario, we would have been seeing a completely different show. But again, I don't know if they have a music director. I don't know if they just did what they did on their own, because I know that happens to a lot of schools, that they don't have music directors, they don't have choir directors, so they have to like put it on together like themselves, right? So And it's a lot for one director to do all by himself, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot that the director does, and if it's just one person, like, it's difficult, especially with a Disney show like this.
Yeah.
So I just wish we could have seen just a little bit more care when it came to the singing aspect. I think every district should have more than one director when it comes to shows like these, because you have a lot of kids, and I'm very happy that they have a lot of kids, but it's just being able to take care of them all together. I don't know, that's just my opinion. Again, my opinion does not matter, like I say every single video, because it doesn't, but it's still my opinion.
That's my opinion. I feel like with a Disney show, you kind of come to expect those extravagant, like, musical numbers.
Yeah.
And especially with Aladdin. Like, obviously, you know, like, A Friend Like Me,
Yeah.
you know, things like that. Like, I wish I had more choreography, and I feel like it would have been the perfect opportunity for them to bring some people into the audience a little bit, with that choreography. Just because then it would have felt like, oh, like this is like a, you know, an extravagant thing.
Yeah.
I think one of the things to look at with a Disney show is like, you may be in a small space, but you have to make these people feel like that's not an issue.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily feel like the small space hindered them completely, but it did set some of the things back for me. But I feel like with the choreo, I wanted more of a wow factor, in my opinion.
Wow.
Yeah, because it wasn't quite there for me with the choreo.
Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and move on to the next show that we need to talk about. We need to talk about Once on This Island from Donna North. This is the first time we go see a show there, right? I mean, I've seen one acts there before, but
I had never been there. I mean, I had driven past it
oh,
before.
that's right, because you were impressed by the size of the school, right?
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? I had never been there, so I was like, this is huge.
They have a really giant school. First impressions when it came to Once on This Island, what did you think? You've seen Once on This Island on Broadway.
I saw it 2 days before it closed on Broadway. Obviously
Also,
the new cast, right?
Oh yeah, the new cast. Also, all these shows you see back here, he has seen in New York. So, just the flex. So yeah, you saw Once on This Island in New York City. So
yes,
what did you think? I had never seen the show, and this was my first time seeing the show. So what did you think?
So, yeah, I'd seen the show in New York. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I had never heard about it before until I'd seen it on Broadway. So I was kind of intrigued when I saw that a school was gonna do it. I think it's a beautiful story. I think it also has really interesting music. The cast on Broadway obviously was fantastic. I mean, the people, for those of you who know what the story is about, like there's 4 gods that kind of linger throughout the show, and 2 of them were played by just some of the most iconic people that I've ever seen live. Alex Newell and Leah Salonga, who is also the voice of Jasmine, LOL, full circle. The curtains were closed, so we couldn't really see most of the set, but there was like a tree on the left side of the stage.
So cute.
Yeah, and it was really big, and knowing what I know about the story, like I knew why it was there, but anyway, I saw that. And then on the other side, there was some palm trees. So when the curtains opened during the first song, I do have to say, I think I wanted a little more from the set. The show is it's very colorful. It's very fun.
Vibrant.
Yeah, vibrant. Maybe not fun if you know the storyline, but
but no, but I get you. I've seen the set design for Once on This Island before, and when I saw the outline of that theater, I was like, wow, I can't wait for them to open the curtains. And I agree. I wish I could have seen a little more, because I think they only have like that platform center stage, and then they didn't bring anything else out. I wish that was like fully decked out with plants or something like that. That would have been super cool.
Yeah, I think what I liked about this show on Broadway, obviously comparing the two is like apples and oranges, right? But what I liked about the show on Broadway was that it felt like you were in the village. Like literally, like the whole ground was sand. And like
I think that's what makes it so special once on this island, especially because it was done in the round.
Yeah, and I feel like they could have done a little more to make it look like a village, because in from what I saw, it looked more like a kind of like a concert style type thing. Like, let's kind of add themes of the show, but not really put like a full complete set.
Yeah.
But I mean, it did its job. Like, the set wasn't just there. Like, it had a purpose. I think the elevating the set a little more would have put the show in a completely different spectrum for me. Going into costumes, I feel like a lot of thought went into the costume of the gods. But I feel like not a lot of thought went into the village.
Okay.
Villagers.
Yeah, I felt some disconnect with the rest of the ensemble and the gods and Timon. That's how you say it.
Timon. Yeah.
Timon. But I felt such a disconnect with it. I was just like, I don't know. Like, it felt like, yeah, they can be in a village, but they can also be like in a city. Right, but it was too clashy, and there could have been some pieces where like, or situations where you had one costume and then another for a certain other scene, but it never changed.
But what I like about the Broadway show is that the gods are not dressed like oh my god, you know, like super like over the top. It's really like, based on who they are, it's like just like random things. So like one thing that I loved about like in the Broadway show, like Alex Knowles' skirt was a shower curtain, and then her top was a football jersey. So like
cute.
It's like it, you know, it's just really cool how you can play around with those kind of aspects, like taking things from the village to make this god that they look up to and ask for things, you know.
For Once on This Island, what did you think about the music?
For me, it wasn't as strong as some of the other shows that we saw this season. I definitely don't feel that it's like an easy musical to do with singing. And I feel like this goes back into like maybe not having like a choir director or like a music director for it. Because in shows like this that kind of need that, like you can easily tell like when it's not there. And I don't want to say the kids were bad, because I don't think they were. I just feel like there wasn't any conviction behind what they were singing. I feel like it was more so like, let me sing this song because it's in the show. Yeah. As opposed to like, why is my character singing this song? And trust me, guys, like, I used to hear people say that, and I was like, that's a lie. Like, I can make you believe that I know what I'm singing about. No, you can't. If you don't feel it, if you don't feel it, like, if you don't feel it, it's gonna freaking show. Like, it's gonna show so hard. And I know from experience, because that happens to me all the time. I'm a perfectionist. We've talked about this. We're not gonna do therapy right now, but so like I've been in that where like you feel like you think you're fooling everybody into that you know what you're singing, but you really don't. So like there's really a lot of sentiment and meaning behind the story, the songs, the characters, like the gods, you know? So it's just like, I feel like all of that needs to be in it, or it just won't do its job. So for me, I think the music lacked a little bit. All right, so moving on to our final show of the video, we're going to be talking about Nikki Rowe High School's Little Shop of Horrors. This is actually the third and final Little Shop of this season. It was the last one we saw. Yeah. The most recent one we saw. What did you think? What was your... Okay, so we've talked about this in 2 videos this season. This show is really near and dear to Daniela's heart, so she has a lot to say about it. So what were your thoughts for this one?
Let's do first impressions. I loved the pictures that they had of the cast when you were walking in. It made it so special to be able to see them, especially in their character poses and whatnot. It was so cute. I think more schools should do that. First impressions with the set when they opened the curtains, I loved what they did with like having the center stage be a lot of playroom. The only thing with that is that I couldn't understand what was the outside and the inside when it came to them having the shop in the middle and them having a lot of the action there, because none of it looked like the inside of the shop. It just looked like the outside. That's literally it when it came to the set for me. The plants. I gotta talk about the plants. I thought it was really cool that the first Audrey 2 was a robot kind of thing. And it moved on its own. I've never seen that before. Kudos to you guys. And then the middle plant was somebody. I thought this was really clever because I didn't notice it, but it was somebody sitting inside one of the plant costumes.
Oh, you didn't notice?
No, I didn't notice until they started moving.
Oh, okay.
Which is really, really cool. And then the last big plant, we asked later on to one of their choir directors, Joshua Watkins.
Mm-hmm.
We asked him how they did that, and they said it was like a seesaw thing. The plant was really narrow, but it was really tall. I'd never seen a plant like that before, but it worked with the kind of set that they had and with the amount of space they had.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like if we had a wider one, it would not have looked as good as this one did.
Going back to the second Audrey 2, that was a person,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't notice when they rolled the plant out at first. I noticed because there was a moment where the way they were seated, like, I think, kudos to whoever played the plant, because literally
Very still.
very still. Very still. Like, I think I was just one of the lucky ones that caught like one movement.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was so insane when you started moving. But I caught some little movement.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, and then I started piecing it together. Like, oh, okay, their knees are in the the bottom part of the plant, and then like how they're moving. But yeah, I was really intrigued by that last plant. Just because like it was so big, guys. It was drilled into the set.
Oh,
like
yeah.
during intermission.
During intermission, I could hear zzz, zzz, and I was like,
okay.
what are they doing?
Yeah, I was like, okay.
And then they
something's gonna
opened
happen.
the curtains, and I was like, yeah, you have to screw that into the set. Yeah.
I think one thing that was different about the set that I had never seen done in a show, in a Little Shop show, was that there was a portion of the set that when you brought it out and then turned it towards the audience, it became the dentist's office.
Yeah.
If I had to be like picky, or if I had to like talk about it, I feel like the dentist office as a set isn't necessary. In my opinion,
yeah,
it can be, but I feel like
normally
chair,
people do the chairs.
yeah,
the dentistry chairs.
I think just bringing out a chair also kind of just and setting the mood with the lighting, could really work in your favor. You could even
do that in front of the curtain.
Yeah.
Which is what a lot of people do too. Look, Nikki Rowe always has like really intricate sets. Like from the first time we saw them with Anything Goes, like they really like to go above and beyond, and it looked dope. Yeah. So I know we're not talking a lot about individuals, but I have to talk about Ian Salazar. Seymour is a hit or miss in my opinion. This was definitely a hit. I loved his portrayal of Seymour, but his vocals killed me. Like, I felt like he had a very special connection with Seymour, and I believed it. And the whole time I saw it, I had a smile on my face. Like, I have such a deep connection with that character too. And I felt it. Like, I truly felt that he believed what he was saying. And his vocals were on point the entire time. And I do have to give him props for the improv that he did during the show that we saw. There was a part of the scene where one of the microphones fell. And it was a little dangerous, I'm not gonna lie to you. But
it was scary.
It was very scary. But Ian saved the day literally by improvising with that microphone. Yeah. It was so cool to see him like it's very Seymour
Yeah.
of the character to do those things. So I didn't think he was doing anything out of character, which I appreciate. The only note I have for you, man, let us see your face, because you have such great delivery and your singing is awesome, but don't look down at the floor anymore. You have you're doing a great job. But I feel like a lot of his focus was on the floor, which I can understand as a character choice for Seymour. But no, it was an acting thing where you just have to look up. Yeah, you have to look up. But yeah, he did a great job.
And I think for me, like when it comes to the acting, I think the biggest thing for me with him was his delivery, because I feel like it wasn't like half-assed. Can I say that? I feel like it was very thought out. I didn't see him looking down as much as like a I'm nervous type thing. I truly did think it was a character choice. So I didn't really think about that. I mean, it could have been either way, but I mean, for me, like, it didn't really take anything away, because of the way he delivered his lines and his singing vocally.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that he did a bad job. Absolutely not.
Neither am I.
He was one of my favorites.
I think like for me, I saw it more as a character choice.
Okay.
So it's interesting to see like how you caught that.
Yeah, it's just I used to do it.
Mm.
It's a self-conscious thing. I used to do it when I was acting because I just wasn't like confident enough to like say something to somebody's face as you should, right?
I think going off of that, I will talk about Audrey, who was played by Gabriela Gonzalez. I don't think I've ever seen her in a Nikki Rowe show. Comment below if I have. I'm very sorry.
I don't remember that either.
Yeah, me either. But I did enjoy her performance. I thought it was a different take on Audrey. I feel like I wanted a little more from the delivery when it came to the lines. I feel like they were very passive, and I understand that Audrey is a passive woman. I get that. It's very obvious. But like, I feel like there's a way to be passive, but also like not like,
yeah.
Like the delivery has to be strong.
Yeah.
As a passive woman.
Yeah.
So I think for me, like, I think I just wanted a little more from that.
I get that.
But I think she delivered well in her singing, in her songs that she did. There was thought behind it. There was meaning. But I feel like if she had carried that a little more into like how she delivered her lines, I feel like it would have been a more of an even match for me when it came to like her singing and her acting.
Yeah.
And of course, I mean, I really have to talk about the other two ensemble members, or the cast members, sorry, Mr. Mushnick and the dentist. I think they rounded out the cast pretty well, and the four of them really carried their own. Like, I feel like, for me, one of the things that I loved about the actor who played the dentist, I'm so sorry, I don't know where I put the playbill, so I don't know your name. But if you're watching this, hello, congratulations.
Such an awesome job.
Yeah, I really enjoyed your energy. Your energy was top notch, like next level. And I feel like it was just enough to not be over the top.
Yes.
And you had that like swagger about you. Like
yeah.
it was really fun to watch. It was really, really fun.
Mushnick, I loved his song with
Seymour.
With Seymour. Oh my gosh, I was floored. I loved it.
I think it's cool when you see you can see the relationships that happen behind like the curtain on stage, because I don't know if y'all are like best friends, but that song, the one you're talking about, was like really cute. Like it was really cute, and you could tell that they like had that connection, whether that be on stage, off stage, whatever. Like it was really fun to watch. So I agree with that. But yeah, overall, I think this show for me was pretty good for me.
Yeah,
I feel like it was one of my favorites this season too.
Same.
And yeah, that was the last show that we saw.
We had so much fun talking about these shows. We had so much fun going to these shows, like you guys always know. So at the end of this week, we will be releasing the final video of the season. We are literally so excited to talk about these shows at the end of this week. Friday will be the day that the last video comes out this season, but don't worry, my friends, we're not going anywhere. So Friday's final shows will be Ash Girl from Nikki, Rowe High School. We're going to be talking about Rock of Ages from McAllen Memorial. We're going to be talking about Into the Woods from Pioneer High School. And then last but definitely not least, we're going to be talking about Carrie from Mac High.
And that will close out our season. We are super excited about the Palm Awards nominations that'll be announced soon. Honestly, guys, before we get to that part of it, I just want everybody to know, like, especially the shows that we saw, but also the shows that we didn't get to see, you guys are worth more than those awards, right? So yes, it's definitely fun to, you know, see who gets nominated, who wins. But I think most importantly, you guys, you should take away the memories that you make, like, you know, with your cast members, with your directors, because honestly, guys, growing up sucks. So just hold on to it just a little longer, and just enjoy the time while you can. It's honestly like a special time in your lives that I wish I could go back to. So I really feel like, before we get into that, like, know that you guys did some great work this season, and you guys will continue to do great work. So don't let that one moment define your entire high school career. It's not about that. It's about the love that you have for theater, the passion you have, the people that you meet. Some of them stay in your life for literally forever. So you're gonna want to remember those moments. So again, we wish you guys all the best when it comes to the nominations. We really enjoyed watching all the shows, and we cannot wait to see what the future holds for you guys.
On that note, thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you on Friday. Who is that person in the Bible? What's his name?
Judas.
Judas. No.